Prabhu, if you can wait before starting the kirtan just a few seconds, because for some reason it's not letting me record on my computer just yet.
Yeah, we'll wait until about 3 more minutes.
I don't know why it does this. Anyways.
So Maharaj, you just arrived here, or?
I did. This afternoon.
You're in the US?
Yes, I am.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. It does make life easier for me in some ways.
Keep some normal hours with the class.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you can start anytime you want now.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Paripradrakacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Adanta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Mukund Radha Punikiti Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai, Navadip Tham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamuna Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Jai Maharaj. Thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu, and welcome everyone to Srimad Bhagavatam class reading with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. Today is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023, and we're reading in third canto, chapter 18, the battle between Lord Boar and the demon Hiranyaksha. We're taking it up again with text number 10. And as always, we're eager to hear everyone's comments and questions, so please use the raise hand feature or simply unmute yourself and speak when Maharaj asks for questions, or you can type your comments into the chat window. We ask that you not type or not send the chats while Maharaj is reading in the chat window because it makes it more difficult to read. And at the end of class, I'll post some helpful links that you can share with your friends so that they can attend as well. And if anyone wants to lead the closing kirtan, send me a chat. Maharaj, we're so glad that you can join us, and welcome back to the United States. I know others are not in the United States, but I am, so I'm welcoming you back to the United States. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Satyam Vayam Povana Gochara Mriga Yushmad Vidhan Mrigaye Grama Singhan Namrityu Pashai Patimuktasya Vira Vikatanam Tava Grinantya Bhadra. The personality of Godhead said, "Indeed, we are creatures of the jungle, and we are searching after hunting dogs like you. One who is freed from the entanglement of death has no fear from the loose talk in which you are indulging, for you are bound up by the laws of death. Purport: demons and atheistic persons can go on insulting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they forget that they are subjected to the laws of birth and death. They think that simply by decrying the existence of the Supreme Lord or defying his stringent laws of nature, one can be freed from the clutches of birth and death. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that simply by understanding the transcendental nature of God, one can go back home, back to Godhead. But demons and atheistic persons do not try to understand the nature of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they remain in the entanglement of birth and death. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gunun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Rijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostrate Bhakta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vanchako Pitarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hiranyaksha has been insulting Lord Varahadev, and now the Lord replies. It's interesting. First, he accepts an insult given by Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha said, "You're just a jungle creature, an amphibious beast." And the Lord accepts that. Yes, I may be a creature of the jungle, but what am I doing? I'm searching for dogs like you to devour. In this way, and I have nothing to fear from you. You're just a what's the word? Plaything of death. Didn't Prabhupada say that for the atheist, death is God? Yes, he did. This is, by the way, a strategy for dealing with insults. You're dealing with some opponent on an argument, and he wants to derail the argument by name calling. So he says, "You're just a fanatic." So one strategy for dealing with such an attack is simply to accept it. That yes, I'm a fanatic, and what this fanatic wants to know is, and then you bring it back to the subject that he was trying to escape. It's I think, a nice strategy. And here we find that the Lord himself takes that strategy, so one can follow in his footsteps in dealing with opponents. Yes, Kendra Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. This segment makes me think how the Lord wanted to fight. That's why he came. That's why he deputed Jai and Vijay to play these roles. And now, finally, the battle is beginning with the volley of pinching words, which seems to accompany just about every Vedic battle you hear about. It starts with the name calling. And I've always been particularly enlivened to hear Krishna's heroic words, like when he's putting down, he's like the expert of the art of the put down when somebody is challenging him, saying, I'm going to kill you. And then Krishna just completely decimates him just with a few words. And the nectar of this exchange is something that apparently the Lord had been wanting all along, or else he would not have appeared in this way.
Yes, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on that the Lord has been, this is what the Lord came for, to enjoy these exchanges, you could say loving exchanges with Hiranyaksha. So now the fun begins, as they say. Something else?
Maharaj?
Yes.
So this kind of, would you say that I was, maybe I hope I didn't miss it, but I was just thinking if there's some kind of pleasure involved in, as I put it once before, trash talking. Sometimes you see men when they get together, they're very close friends and they just insult each other back and forth. Can we sort of say this might be a taste of that?
Yeah. The Lord, the demon is doing service by opposing Krishna, and Krishna's enjoying. And Vishwanath gives the example, I think, someplace, that if a son is fighting with the father or something along those lines, and it's relishable. It's not that the father is threatened, but he enjoys the exchange.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Mahesh Pandit Prabhu.
Maharaj, this battle happened in the beginning of the first Manu, I guess, the Swayambhu Manu.
Well, as mentioned, as Srila Prabhupada mentions earlier, there are two Manvantara, two Varaha incarnations. Mm-hmm. One is in the Swayambhuva Manvantara, and I think the other is Chakshush Manvantara. Oh. And the Sukadeva Goswami, while telling the pastime, merges the two.
Oh, okay. Merges the two.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Ete vayam nyasa hara rasaukasam katashriyo gadaya dravitaste tishtamehe tapi katan shirajo steyam kroyamo palinotpadjavairam. Certainly we have stolen the charge of the inhabitants of Rasatala and have lost all shame. Although bitten by your powerful mace, I shall stay here in the water for some time, because of having created enmity with a powerful enemy, I now have no place to go. The demon purport should have known that God cannot be driven out of any place, for he is all-pervading. demons think of their possessions as their property, but actually everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can take anything at any time he likes. And here Vishwanath comments that the Lord is joking with the demon. Oh, I have no place else to go in this verse and the previous verse. Yes, I'm a creature of the forest, and I have no place to go. I've stolen things entrusted to you, and so on. So he's essentially belittling the demon by mocking him in this way. Also, by the way, the same Vishwanath who found double meanings in the insults hurled by Hiranyaksha also finds double or triple meanings in the Lord's replies. We may not go into them all in detail because, for one thing, they involve plays on words in Sanskrit, and one would have to spend the time to look at them carefully. But just so you know. Tulsi Priya says, it reminds me of when Mahaprabhu set up the Digvijay for defeat by minimizing himself before him. Yes. I'm just a humble grammar student. I'm nothing like you. And then beats the pants off him. Okay. Anything else? Padratanam kila utapadhipo Tashvano swastya ashvanuha samstapya chashman pramurjashru svakanam yasvam pratigyam natipit partyapshapya. You are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud, yet he does not deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word. Purport. A demon may be a great soldier and commander of a large number of infantry, but in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's powerless and destined to die. The Lord therefore challenged the demon not to go away, but to fulfill his promised word to kill him. So the Lord is challenging the demon. Enough of your talk. Let's see you show your stuff. Maitreya Vacha. Sodhikshipto Bhagavata Pralabdhascha Rusha Prasham Ajnanaropanam Krodham Kvidyamano Hirad Iva. Sri Maitreya said, the demon, being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead, became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Purport. A cobra is very fierce before ordinary persons, but before an enchanter who can play with him, he's a plaything. Similarly, A demon may be very powerful in his own domain, but before the Lord, he is insignificant. The demon Ravana was a fierce figure before the demigods, but when he was before Lord Ramchandra, he trembled and prayed to his deity, Lord Shiva, but to no avail. Well, this great demon Hiranyaksha is small potatoes for Ahadev. Srijanna Marshita Svasan Manu Prachalitendriyaha Asadya Tadasa Daityo Gadeya Yahanad Tarim. Hissing indignantly, all his senses shaken by wrath, the demon quickly sprang upon the Lord and dealt him a blow with his powerful mace. Anantashesh says, great to see God not always, in battle with Satan. Bhagavams tu gada vegam krishrishtam rupunodasi avanchayat tiraschino yoga rudha ivantakam. The Lord, however, by moving slightly aside, dodged the violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death. Purport. The example is given herein that the perfect yogi can overcome a death blow, although it is offered by the laws of nature. It is useless for a demon to beat the transcendental body of the Lord with a powerful mace, for no one can surpass his prowess. Those who are advanced transcendentalists are free from the laws of nature, and even a death blow cannot act on them. Superficially, it may be seen that a yogi is attacked by a death blow, but by the grace of the Lord, he can overcome many such attacks for the service of the Lord. As the Lord exists by his own independent prowess, by the grace of the Lord, the devotees also exist for his service. It appears to me that here again, Srila Prabhupada is speaking from his personal experience. The Lord dodged the death blow from the demon. And similarly, by the grace of the Lord, the devotee can overcome many attacks. Anything else here? Punargadam swam adaya brahmayantam apikshnashaha abhyatavad tari krudha samrampad dastadachadam. The personality of Godhead now exhibited its anger and rushed to meet the demon, who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about. Tatascha gadiyaratim dakshinasyam dhruvi prabhu ajagne sa tutam samya Gadaya Kovido Hanat. Then, with his mace, the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidura, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace. Evam gadabhyam gurvibhyam haryaksho harirevacha shagishaya susamrabdhav anyonyam abhijagnatahu. In this way, the demon Hiranyaksha, the demon Haryaksha, and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. And so Haryaksha is another name of Hiranyaksha. Theos pridhos tigma gada hatangayo shata shava grana vividha manyavo Chitra margang stradator jagishaya pyabhad ilayam eva shushmanor mitha. There was keen rivalry between the two combatants. Both had sustained injuries on their bodies from the blows of each other's pointed maces, and each grew more and more enraged at the smell of blood on his person. In their eagerness to win, they performed maneuvers of various kinds, and their contest looked like an encounter between two forceful bulls for the sake of a cow. Purport. Here, the planet Earth is called Ila. This earth was formerly known as Ilavritavarsh, and when Maharaj Parikshit ruled the earth, it was called Bharatvarsha. Actually, Bharatvarsha is the name for the entire planet, but gradually Bharatvarsha has come to mean India. As India has recently been divided into Pakistan and Hindustan, similarly, the earth was formerly called Ilavritavarsa, but gradually as time passed, it was divided by national boundaries. Okay. Any comments here? Okay. Vajasya yagya vayavasya maya grihita varaha tanor mahatmana kauravya mayham dvishator vimardanam Trudrikshuragad Rishibir Vritaswarat. O descendant of Kuru, Brahma, the most independent demigod of the universe, accompanied by his followers, came to see the terrible fight for the sake of the world between the demon and the personality of Godhead, who appeared in the form of a boar. Purport. The fight between the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the demon is compared to a fight between bulls for the sake of a cow. The earth planet is also called Go, or cow. The earth planet is also called Go or cow, as bulls fight between themselves to ascertain who will have union with a cow. There's always a constant fight between the demons and the Supreme Lord, or his representative, for supremacy over the earth. Here, the Lord is significantly described as Yajna-Vayava. One should not consider the Lord to have the body of an ordinary boar. He can assume any form, and he possesses all such forms eternally. It is from him that all other forms have emanated. This boar form is not to be considered the form of an ordinary hog. His body is actually full of yajna, or worshipful offerings. Yajna, sacrifices, are offered to Vishnu. Yajna means the body of Vishnu. His body is not material. Therefore, he should not be taken to be an ordinary boar. Brahma is described in this verse as Swarat. Actually, full independence is exclusive to the Lord himself. But as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, every living entity has a minute quantity of independence. Each and every one of the living entities within this universe has this minute independence, but Brahma, being the chief of all living entities, has a greater potential of independence than any other. He is the representative of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and has been assigned to preside over universal affairs. All other demigods work for him. Therefore, he is described here as Swarat. He's always accompanied by great sages and transcendentalists, all of whom came to see the bullfight between the demon and the Lord. Hey, anything else here so far? Asanna sontiram apeta sadvasam krita pratikaram aharya vikramam vilakshya daityam bhagavan sahasranir shagada narayanam adi shukaram. After arriving at the place, after arriving at the place of combat, Brahma, the leader of thousands of sages and transcendentalists, saw the demon who had attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayan, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time. Brahmavacha Eshate Deva Devanam Angrimulam Apeyusham Vipranam Surabhedyan Enam Angrimulam Upeyusham. Let's see. It's Let's see. I'm only a little lost today. It's in text 21. After arriving at the place of combat, Brahma, the leader of thousands of sages and transcendentalists, saw the demon who had attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayan, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time. Brahmopacha eshate deva devanam angrimulam upayusham vipranam sodapayinam bhutanam apyanagasam agaskrit payakrit duskrit asmad radhavaro sudaha anveshan apratirato lokan artati kantakaha. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, this demon has proved to be a constant pinprick to the demigods, the Brahmins, the cows, and innocent persons who are spotless and always dependent on worshiping your lotus feet. He has become a source of fear by unnecessarily harassing them. Since he has attained a boon from me, he has become a demon, always searching for a proper combatant, wandering all over the universe for this infamous person." Purport. There are two classes of living entities. One is called Sura, or the demigods, and the other is called Asura, or the demons. Demons are generally fond of worshiping the demigods, and there are evidences that by such worship they get extensive power for their sense gratification. This later proves to be a cause of trouble to the Brahmins, demigods, and other innocent living entities. Demons habitually find fault with the demigods, Brahmins, and innocents, to whom they are a constant source of fear. The way of the demon is to take power from the demigods and then tease the demigods themselves. There's an instance of a great devotee of Lord Shiva who obtained a boon from Lord Shiva that the head of whomever he touched with his hand would come off its trunk. The hand, as soon as the boon was offered to him, the demon wanted to touch the very head of Lord Shiva. That is their way. The devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not, however, ask any favor for sense gratification. Even if they're offered liberation, they refuse it. They are happy simply engaging in the transcendental, loving service of the Lord. Mainam maya vinam driptam nirankusham asattamam akrida balavadeva yata shivasham uttitam. Lord Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, there's no need to play with this serpentine demon, who's always very skilled in conjuring tricks, and is arrogant, self-sufficient, and most wicked." Purport: no one is unhappy when a serpent is killed. It is a practice among village boys to catch a serpent by the tail and play with it for some time, and then kill it. Similarly, the Lord could have killed the demon at once, but he played with him in the same way as a child plays with a snake before killing it. Brahma requested, however, that since the demon was more wicked and undesirable than a person, than a serpent, there was no need to play with him. It was his wish that the demon be killed at once without delay. So this is a theme that will come up in several coming verses, that the Lord is having a good time fighting with the demons, but Brahma's apprehensive. Oh, my Lord, finish him off. Doesn't understand the superpower of the Lord. By the influence of Yoga Maya, the Lord's greatness is temporarily hidden, and Brahma thinks that you better get on with him, with killing him before he gets too big and you're not able to control him. These are another kind of loving sentiment. Nayavad esha vardheta swam vedam prapyadarunaha swam deva mayam astaya tavisjahyagam achyuta. Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, you are infallible. Please kill this sinful demon before the demoniac hour arrives and he presents another formidable approach favorable to him. You can kill him by your internal potency without doubt." So Brahma is the most intelligent creature in the universe, and still he himself becomes bewildered because yes. Okay.
Maharaj?
Yes.
I don't know why I'm echoing. Anyways, I was just wondering if this fear of Lord Brahma and the demigods is also meant to enhance the Leela, because, if it's just, you have, like, I'm thinking in Greek drama, you have the chorus who is sort of the proxy for the audience, and they're commenting and they're expressing the fears of the audience and things like that. So you need to have an observer, somebody who's cheering you on or
And it's described by Chakravarti Thakur that because of love, Brahma was thinking this way about the Lord. Otherwise, Brahma should know better. He's the most learned person in the universe. He should be aware that the Lord can't be affected by any weapons or by any demonic tricks, but by Yoga Maya, the Brahma, overwhelmed with love, is thinking that the Lord might be in difficulty in terms of fighting with Hiranyaksha. All right. If you don't mind, I think we could end a few minutes early today. Oh, wait. Venkatesh says, it's said there are demonic entities controlling our planet now, and there are also subtle forces, etc. And it is bringing dangers to devotees and affecting their day-to-day devotional practice too. What did Srila Prabhupada advise devotees in such situations? Yes, there are demonic entities controlling our planet. The heads of state of the various countries of the world are generally demons. And if we take it as if we're of the belief that the leaders of the world are, what's the word? Obligated, indebted to the wealthy men who put them there in their office, then from that point of view, okay, I'm not connecting here. I think what I'm going to do, with your permission, is end a little early today. I think you are right, Venkatesh Prabhu. As far as advice, Prabhupada said just carry on. The devotees were worried sometime that there'd be a world war. Prabhupada said devotees just chant Hare Krishna and carry on with their business. Okay, so with your permission, we can stop a few minutes early today and have kirtan. And I will, anyway, let's do that. I won't say more because I don't know how much there'll be, how coherent anything I might say at this point might be. I heard that Sadhu Seva was willing to lead the kirtan.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnuvad Purnamamsa Paripurajaka Ashtotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara. Sri Radha Krishna Ko Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navdeep Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamunamai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Om.
Jai Maharaj. Thank you, Sadhu Seva Prabhu. And thank you all for joining us again tonight. And please share those class links in the chat box with your friends. And we're looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow for Chaitanya Charitamrita reading with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj Swami Ki Jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari
Hari
Om.
Bol. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you. Thank you all. And good night. Hare Krishna.
Take good rest. Hare Krishna. Jai Madhu